a nurse.
Wardsman?
A ward to fill the that ward was going off sick, and I don't know when he'll be back. Anyway, they're not very happy with me. He's a bit rough with paper, and nobody seems to say at that time. And then, you had excuse me. You had a bit of nursing experience during the war, didn't you? So yes, and he was killed in one place.
Yeah.
Helped me a wounded soldier. Yeah, we both wounded together. The fellow I was helping, I was hidden a lot away from the British yet, but he must have moved somewhere else. What I was doing to him is his right left leg, that was his hand by sinew.
Yeah.
So I knew first aid and everything, Julia and all that sort of stuff.
And you were the stretcher bearer and the first aid person as part of it, weren't you?
I started, I was bone set, and a straight stick to put in it, and I started bowling.
So it was a Japanese soldier you were fixing, was it?
No,
No. What? Yep.
I wouldn't do any of those bastards.
No, you wouldn't treat any of those bastards.
Yeah. But this is bang, bang. Shot him first. Bang, bang. I got through there, straight down. Came out down over my hip. Broke my hip there. I really head down and broke my late bone. And they laying there on the floor before they could even get the stretcher bearer to me. They were fighting, beating the Japs back. It must have been about 200 of them we were fighting.
Yeah.
We lost a lot of bloody men too.
Yeah, you did. What about the day when the war ended? You told me that story. That was a very interesting one. And you were surrounded by those Japs, and there was about 100 of you guys left. Yeah. And you reckon if the war hadn't have ended, you would have been gone.
Yeah. But I never seen things that was so bloody filthy. One night we were doing a bit of a inspection, so we find any Japs. So they used to have eagle rest area.
Yep. So they'd go looking for their eagle nest.
And we come to that, and we said, shh, there's a lot of bloody Japs down there, look at them. Oh God, look what they're doing. Had their prisoners tied up on a crossbar.
Yeah.
He held on over from there to there. Flesh, isn't it raw?
Oh.
Fair dinkum.
And they wonder why the Anzacs had such a disdain for the Japanese people when you guys were witnessing that the whole time.
Yeah.
They were very cruel, Pop, weren't they?
Well, no. Certainly, they weren't humans. They were barbarians. Even children. They'd cut them all into quarters, They eat them raw. They had the mother of the children of one child had her straight up her breast hand and all her breast shoulder and all that. And Japanese come along, grabbed my breast and held the cup
and took the milk out of the breast that he cut open.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They would be, say you're 98 now.
Yeah.
How have you dealt with all of those memories in your head all these years?
Oh, I don't know. I just didn't.
Like, I know you've suffered a lot of shell shock, and you've had a lot of nights where you wake up in horrors and stuff.
I won't even. If they put on a war picture here, I said, I'm not watching that war picture.
Yeah.
I said, why? Well, I said, if I was to put that bloody war picture on, I'd be fighting a war again.
Yeah. And that'd be your issue at night, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You'd end up going back into that whole being back at war again in your head.
Yeah.
Because I remember as a child, Sullivans were on TV all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And Grandma and Mum and I would go off into the lounge room and watch Sullivans.
Yeah.
But you used to sit in and watch TV on the old kitchen, the black and white TV in the kitchen.
Yes.
Because we got the privilege of the colour TV that you bought.
Yeah,
You hated us watching that show, but we loved it.
It was glorified war.
Yeah.
well,
It was glorified war.
It was glorified war, and they still glorify it today, you know.
That's only some of the things that the bloody Japs do. They come across a prisoner and cut his head off and that sort of thing. I
Get them big swords out.
I was quite happy when I was trying to pull the bloody trigger. Some of the bloody bastards made bad in my French. Oh, gee. I lost a lot of bloody good mates too.
So tell me about, was it Doc Martin, you were Doc Holliday or somebody like that was your doc? He was your guy that in your squad. Remember I talked to you about that photo with the shark?
Yeah.
And there was a doc, the guy that you said, oh, he was the doc. We called him Doc.
Yeah.
Do you remember what his name was? Was it Halliday or
Doc. Called him Doc Halliday.
Doc Halliday? Yeah.
That was a good photo. That 15 of us.
Yeah.
We're just in the days. We're sipping along everywhere, you know. But we've just finished our day's training, and we were where was it? Where were we at?
That wasn't that in your early stages, just in Papua New Guinea back then, didn't
No,
you?
never even. We just started to learn the ropes sort of thing, you know.
Yep.
Anyway, we one Jap, there's a couple of them my boy went to look at it. I did the sharks swimming around out there. And I'll post a couple of blokes to keep going there. So, I said, we better not do anything. Have you got any fishing lines here? Oh, yeah. I said, it's strong enough to, if we hook a shark, to drag the shark in. Or what? I said, oh, yeah, well, we want to go and try and catch him, eh? I said, yeah, we will. Oh, we will. Anyway, the two guardsmen said, you've got him. He's coming down, up and down. He's I'll bet if anything up to 15 foot long.
Yeah.
Oh, we were talking about you see how many there.
Oh, there was lots of blokes in that photo, yeah.
Squash over there. We'll have a bit of a shark picnic now. There'll be sharks, shit. Really lovely now, just free.
It was nice?
Oh,
You enjoyed the shark?
the cook, he knew what he knew.
Yeah.
Who was our cook now? Oh, God, my memory very terrible.
Yeah, and if I could bring up the photo, I could go over the names and we'd bring it.
And and the captain said, oh, God, don't how'd you catch that one? I went out and caught him barehanded. Oh, don't be bloody silly. And I know threw a line out and ran out only there for a couple of seconds, and the shark grabbed and we, the forces grabbed me. Gee, you did a wonderful job dragging a 15-footer.
So what, it took about 15 of yous to pull him in?
Yeah.
Wow. Because you caught him by hand, basically. Or the line.
On the line, 15 of us, yeah.
Yeah. So Uncle David and Auntie Sherry were down here for you just before your birthday. Did he show you that photo and talk about some of those guys in the photo?
Yeah, I think
When he
so.
was down here?
think so.
Because I said to him, I sent him the photos and I said, Uncle David, talk to Pop about the blokes in the photos. I was talking to him on the phone and his voice just lit up when I started talking about them. It was like he came to life when we were talking about all those guys that you were at war with.
Oh, they're the cruelest bloody mongrel on earth. They bloody And yet, the bloody Prime Minister, after the war was over, and everything, they had the height to welcome to Parliament House.
The Japanese?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that offended you,
Oh,
you
bloody
soldiers, big time?
I said, look at that bastard. I said, we lost a lot of bloody, but we lost a lot of bloody men, and here a bloody Prime Minister entertained the friggin' bloody rotten chaps that killed all, did that.
Down at the house there,
Yeah,
Kirribilli House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He even took him from bloody a space journey to another place where still under our control, but.
So did you feel like your government had basically turned his back on you
Yeah.
by inviting them into Kirribilli House after you have all just fought and watched all your mates die? And
not only that, whenever they're having not only having space patrol or taking new aircraft or that. Yep. He'd have the right to send a bloody couple of Japs in the place that they were trying.
oh, with the space station stuff, and they sent Japanese up us. Yeah. So that horrified you too.
I said, look at what that bastard did. Don't you realise what these Mongols did to our men and to their prisoners?
Yeah.
I said, my bloody general shoot the bastard straight away.
Because I know for years, like as a kid growing up, you really, really hated anything Japanese. Anything that came from overseas, it was like, no, we weren't allowed to have a Nissan car. We weren't allowed to have anything that wasn't Holden or Ford or, it had to be made in Australia.
Yeah.
That was what you came back with as your morals in life.
Yeah.
I think I was probably about 20 when you got that little Gemini.
Yeah.
And that was against you at the time.
Yeah.
You weren't happy that you were buying a Gemini.
No, nothing. No way was I.
That was after Grandma sold the Holden that you had the car accident in on Guy Road, and you ended up getting that Gemini, and you were like, goes against every bit of my grain.
Oh, I would go into a restaurant or whatever. If any Japanese in the restaurant being served, I fancy entertaining those dirty bastards.
Yeah.
I had my fresh. It's come half an hour. It's come away. We'll find somewhere else to eat. So we go look to come along a restaurant. Excuse me, we're looking for a Japanese fresh, free of a restaurant free of Japanese. Right, it's the right door.
Yeah.
I'm an English, I think it was.
Yeah.
But all sorts of people from fighting. How many hours? I've been about 13 or 14. Oh, gee, just a nice handful. Go on, boy, I'll put on a special meal for you.
Yeah.
Why was it special?
It was special?
But anyway, that was all right. Yeah, and then, what do you... he had the opportunity of getting into a new space
Station thing.
spaceship.
Yeah.
And to try it, and he even a bloody hard to take 2 flavoured Japs in with him, man. Of all.
Yeah.
In a spaceship, man.
Tell me, Pop, back in those days, because there were a lot of Chinese people in our community, like your Harry Fays and all of them.
Yeah.
How did you go about when you came back from the war? I know Chinese are totally separate to Japanese, but how were your relationships with the Asian people in the country that you'd known all your life? Like, I know you got on really well with Harry and all of them, but did you find that you had a bit of bias against them all when you first came back?
No, the Chinese were of the same opinion what we were. They were just bastards. They wouldn't have anything to do with them either.
Yeah, yeah. Because in the current state of things at the moment, the Japanese and the Chinese are looking at joining forces.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So that's why I'm wondering, like, how did you guys cope with those different Asians that were actually in our country when you came back from World War Two?
Oh, well,
Do your eyes look dreadfully sore?
they're terrible. If we
They're
had,
getting redder and redder, Pop. They're like they're bleeding.
Yeah. I don't know, they put drops in it, but that's it. Anyway, we,
Yep.
when we were seeing any jet where we were going, we just turn around and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But, where else was it?
But your relationships with the Chinese were all right. You
Oh,
didn't. You didn't come back from World War Two and start hating on any Asian that was in Australia.
No, just the Japs.
Just the Japs. And how could you tell the difference between whether somebody was a Japanese or whether they were Chinese?
By their talking.
By the what?
They're talking. Or it's supposed to be talking.
Oh, the way they talked.
Yeah.
You could actually tell the difference in their language.
You get a close look and look at the bloody eyes. Their eyes will be, yeah.
So yeah, the different slant or something, is there?
Yeah.
Like
There is.
because I remember there used to be that saying, Chinese, Japanese, goodness gracious, what are these? You know, that sort of stuff, and you do that with your eyes.
Yeah.
Chinese, Japanese. Yeah.
Some of the blokes said, well, they said, the war's over now, so why not make friends with it? Look, I'd like to make friends with a bloody rattlesnake and make fun of them.
Make friends with a rattlesnake before you'd make friends with a Japanese.
And why? Well, he said, you wasn't with the time if we seen them hanging the prisoners up and cutting the flesh off the bone, eat it raw,
Yeah.
and stabbing them in the breast and drinking their milk and all that, and even cutting the children up. And
Yeah.
you said you didn't see anything like that, did you? No, I said, we actually don't know when I'm just there on the field. Well, don't talk to me about them.
Yeah.
I don't know if I...
But then I suppose if you think back to that time, they were fighting for what they believed in too, weren't they?
Oh, yes.
You know, like they're all humans, just the same as you're a human, and yes, they were barbaric race and so forth. But they were fighting for their beliefs just as much as what you guys were.
I'll tell you another incident. When the ships would come into their what do you call it?
In the dock?
They come in, bring passengers in from overseas.
Yeah.
The bloody Japs used to get behind them and follow them in, yeah. And they'd go unload and they'd look around and they found out where some of the
ships were coming in?
some sailors were sleeping, and there were about 50 or so that night. And fired their bloody torpedoes and killed the bloody lot.
Oh dear, oh dear. Yep.
But,
So tell me a bit more about the hospital again. Tell me about the donkey story. We haven't heard the donkey story for a while. When you made the donkey for the ladies because they were uncomfortable in bed.
oh, yeah.
And you called it the donkey.
Yeah. Yeah, they'd be sitting in bed and it's sudden. What's the matter, darling? I just came in bed and said, we can't get you comfortable. I said, why? What's the matter with it? She said, oh, the pillars were alive, I think. Oh, well, I said, how about if I make a donkey? Oh, boy, if you do that, we'll... So I took a pillar and now I want a clean draw sheet. I spread it down, put the pillar in the middle, and now what am I going to do with it? How? Over like that on one end, like that, and another end over like that, and then wound the pillar over it or something.
Yep.
So that was short. Right, let's forward. I put that behind them and I said, "Good heavens, what have you done to it?" Oh, that's why it's sleeping on a spring cushion. How on earth did you make it like that? Oh, well, I've had quite a bit of experience making donkeys for...
To make people comfortable.
I used to be a water during the war, and I helped the prison. Whatever prison we had, I used to help them like I could, you know.
Yep.
Gosh, Jesus, I've never seen anything haven't seen anything like that done before. I never will again either.
Yeah.
But
Your aim was always to try and help them be as comfortable as they could be.
Yeah, my word.
And the story about the ladies, and you used to actually put them on a bedpan, and because the nurses were busy, and how horrified they were back in those days.
That's all right, sir. I was married man myself. That poor bit died, and that's all right, sir. I was a married man, and I was lost a bit manhandled by other males. But I got no intention of getting into bed with you. So just trying to make you something. Just lift up and throw the pan out and maybe half full of flaming blood, you know. And hadn't been changed for ages. And I do one patient there. What are you doing there? I said, what do you think I'm doing? I said, you have to get into bed with her. I said, you do that, and I'll get the maid in with you. I said, go ahead and do that. I'm just helping the poor places because you just made a mess of yourself. And I'm just trying to be singing out the last.
So even in your day, like I know in my day, we used to always get told, oh, that's not within your role. Like, that's not your job. Yeah. That's not your job. Us, we're meant to do this. We're meant to do that. So you suffered that at the Inverell Hospital when you were a young fellow working there helping ladies.
Yeah. I helped men too.
Men too, yep. And you were one of the best shavers, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor old, what's your name? He lived across the road from the hospital. Oh, God. He ran a good mate of mine too, you know, I was paying for him. Yeah, he went in, knocked off in the afternoon, he'd go home and get his shaving gear, and go around, like a shave, you know, I said, like a hand. No, I said, this is my job, so I always like doing this. Anyway, he did eventually
let you start shaving.
Help him, you know. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, one day, I was up there in a female ward. We was help moving over the wardsman. Yeah. I help the cleaners too, you know.
Yeah.
If a patient needed a center, I'd just go over and wash my hands and stick a pair of gloves on
and help out.
Help her, him or her. And I was up there near ran away. Ring, 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 ring.
The buzzers.
What's the matter, darling? I said, if I've got to wait much longer, I'll be doing the business in the bed.
Yeah.
You want a pan, do you? I want a pan badly.
Yeah.
There's no one around. I said, what about you? I said, I'm a warden, but that didn't make any difference. Do you want a pan, do you? She said, yeah. Right. Drop the... I was
into the pan room.
Pan room. Come out of the pan and put it come back. And this is going to be very embarrassing to you and me too. You've got to take the blankets off the bed off there. I see what I'm doing. I see all the fanning and everything, you know.
Right.
And when I do get in bed with it, you know, you just lift up. I slide the pan on it gently. And I said, push it a bit further. Oh, she said, that's good.
And then she was able to wee and be comfortable.
That's the first decent business I've had for long. What are you? I'm the wardsman for the hospital. I said, you're the best wardsman I've ever had.
Yeah.
Well, every patient that I did to it.
So how young would have you been then when you were giving the ladies the bedpans? Because you would have only been...
I went to 19, I went to join the army, then I was about 25, perhaps 30.
25, yeah. Because I remember when I first started nursing, I'll tell you about one of my experiences. There was this old guy in West Wing, okay, down in rooms on the left-hand side of West Wing. This old guy, I've been told I had to go and give him a wash, okay? So I'm an 18-year-old girl.
I know who you're about.
Got the pan, the dish to go and give him the wash. And I'm walking into the room and I look over and I've just gone, oh, geez, this is embarrassing. Like, was me. I was just reacting as an 18-year-old girl, thinking I had to wash this old guy. I've gone over to the old guy, and I've got to tell you, I was thankful he was deaf. He didn't actually hear me say, oh, geez, this is embarrassing. And I used to say to him, I'll wash down as far as possible, I'll wash up as far as possible, but you can wash possible.
You know, there's nurses, even to this day,
Yeah.
they wash up, you know. I said, what are we doing that for? He said, well, we don't wash. His days of doing any harm,
It's long gone.
He's gone. He's just you know, on the pension.
Yeah.
And anyway, so the men got they used to ask for me to come and wash them after that's what I used to have different way of doing washing, you know, not perfect on them or anything, but just I did it the way of it.
Yeah.
And I said, Jesus, that's the best wash we've ever had. And I was up the female again, and they were going around. It was time for them for the patients to be getting ready for you know, the final sponge or whatever before going to bed.
Yep.
And I said, well, could you have good wardsmen? Well, this is going to be good. We'll enjoy this.
Because there's a difference between good ones and bad ones. Like, I know, like when I worked there, quite often you'd have the patients that really look forward to when you got to give them the wash instead of the other nurses or whatever, because they actually appreciated the little extra effort you made.
Even the noises. Even the nurses used to come and wash when I don't know how I used to wash them. You know. Well, where did you learn to wash people like that? I said, well, I was a wardsman during the war, you know, whenever we had a chance.
Yeah.
We wounded soldiers, maybe sponged and cleaned up.
Doing what you had to do.
And I used to learn new ways of doing it. So, yeah, well, I've never seen anything like that. That's really marvellous. I said, you know, we got the best wardsman in the whole hospital. It's whole bloody people, you know.
Back when I was a kid and I went to hospital a fair bit, as you know, you weren't working as wardsman then. You used to work in the boiler room back then.
Yeah, back then.
Joe Dow was a pretty bloody good wardsman too.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
He was. And Alan Ryan, he was another really good wardsman. Yeah. There was a few of you. Vaughan Livermore.
Oh,
he was a wardsman as well. He actually always spoke very highly of you.
Yeah.
Always said he enjoyed working with you.
Know, we enjoyed working together.
And I was talking to Leroy Connors. Do you remember young Leroy Connors?
Yeah.
He was he did some apprentice work at the hospital when he was only 16, 17. He's my age.
Yeah.
And he talks about you and Dickie and how much he respected the fact that you two basically took on like a father role to him.
Yeah.
Because his father had passed away. So, and you blokes took him in under your wings, and
Yeah, we.
because she's got on well with all the Aboriginal people in the community too.
Yeah.
Like, you guys had some great mateships with everyone, didn't you?
Telling me.
Huh?
I thought we had a great mateship with them. Of course, some of them they wouldn't even think of letting. Never particularly. You know, as who they let spend them, that sort of thing. So their religion is no religion, but it's their main religion is what they work on the sun or the bloody whatever.
The Dreamtime
The
religion.
dream for everything, you know. And someone said, what are you going to do now? We're going to give you a good sponge to make it nice and comfortable to get for going to bed. It was going to give us a sponge. I said, no, we're allowed to. I said, why? Well, that's a great shower of religion. That's just too bad. You get a sponge just the same. I just sponge from head to foot, you know. Give them a good scrub and everything, you know.
Yep.
And strain them over and that was the best, what do you call it, we've had for my own people.
Yeah.
Couldn't give you as good
a sponge as what you did. Wow.
Whenever we want a sponge, as it would ask for you.
So tell me, how many Aboriginal people did you have working with you at the hospital over time? Like, I know you had Leroy Connors, he was an apprentice. You had Vaughan Livermore there as a wardsman. Did you ever work with what's her name? Beryl. She was Beryl Connors. She's one of the first Aboriginal nurses in the area.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and she works at Armigen. She's a registered nurse down there.
Yeah.
She's actually one of the Connors family.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She was good.
She was good? You liked Beryl?
We got on really good, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have to send her to see the word. I could have been in bed with Rita.
Oh, well, I won't tell Beryl you said that. I was only talking to her 2 days ago.
No, well, that's right.
You thought she was all right, did you?
She
was a beautiful lady, wasn't she? All of those girls.
She wasn't really not a fully...
No, but she ended up becoming a registered nurse in the end. She finally...
That's right. What was she before?
An assistant in nursing, maybe?
Who?
Was she an assistant in nursing or something? Did she start off as one of the assistant in nursing?
Yeah, that's right. The first day, we showed them what to do and all sort of it. But then second day, you're getting bored, Alan.
Alan's not getting bored, no.
No.
Come and sit closer so you can hear him, Dolan.
No, I'm working up here with the sun and you're down there with Top. You do your stuff with Top.
Yeah,
I'm listening.
Beryl. We're talking about when you met Beryl.
We used to get together quite often doing sponges, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I said, no doubt, I said, even though you are, I won't say that you, well, I said, you're an Aboriginal. I said, I think quite a lot of you.
Yeah. By the looks of that smile on your face, you had a little special spot for her in your heart.
I
wonder what Gren would have thought about that back then, hey?
I said, what do you think of that?
You might have run off with Beryl, hey?
I said, I've heard lots of yarn about the way they've been treating the patients. They're all very, 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 very pleased with you. Some say that you're the best wardsman that they've ever had.
Yeah, yeah.
Even male. You can do it out there.
You're right, yep.
I mean, they're right.
It's all good.
Even the males, you're the best wardsman we've ever had.
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing's a trouble to you, no matter how bad or whatever.
Oh, you always tried to help everyone however you could.
Well, the way some poor buggers affected with half of my missus, all this sort of thing, I don't know how I sort of over the moon. Trying to involve myself in it, but no, I went through war reflection as well too. You know, I know what it's like to be.
Yeah,
the times, but then they died helping that chap, and I know. I said I'd like to hope I can get a job. Rain.
What was that bird?
Rain.
You reckon we're getting rain?
I don't get in trouble with this. I hope I can get a job with it at water. One day I was doing a sponge and on my own. It was supposed to be pretty hard to deal with, but I had no trouble with him. And the sister said, "John." Yes, sister, you're dealing with that fella's really... Oh, I said, no, give me. He said, it's all right, boy, it's all right. I didn't want to make it find out what you want. So he said, you let me carry on with this sponge. Of course, well, you're the best sponge I've ever had. And even half had him, you know.
Hmm. Well, the sisters and that would have been happy to have some help. I know nowadays wardsmans do a lot of the male sponges and stuff in the... Like, orthopaedic ward at Tamworth.
Yeah.
We weren't washing the boys. We used to have to call through to have the wardsman to come and do the washes, and the blokes would be waiting around. We'd get through all of our female patients and there'd be still a whole line-up of blokes waiting to be done. Yeah. But they got very protective of that, keeping males caring for males and females caring for the females within health.
Yeah, I said the same thing. What's wrong with the...
Oh.
Harry?
Yeah, it's all going. I'm watching, there's all these butterflies that are flying over here behind you in the zinnias and that. Yeah. They're amazing.
Anyway, they said...
I'm going to go to the toilet.
Yep.
One of them said, do you mind doing the sponges? Look, they like me doing the sponges, and I like doing the sponges, and everything's going all right. There's no trouble whatsoever. When you handle that half-mad chap,
yeah.
That's been amazing. He never even tried to do anything. But no, the worst part of it is I had to put him back in handcuffs on either side of the bed. Oh, what are you doing that for? Well, regulated said you're a bit on the, side, and said
so you had to put the handcuffs back on him after you sponged him.
If you might, if you have any resistance, you might go and turn and do harm to other patients.
Yeah, yeah.
When he fits, and if you got the handcuffs when you can't. Oh, he used to throw some bloody terrific fits.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what happens with seizures, isn't it? So you recognise that with epilepsy back in those days, that they quite often hurt themselves or hurt others. Yeah.
But
fits.
Another story. But anyway, what was it? Oh yeah, it was I had a bit of spare time. I used to help the cooks. I sit out in the kitchen, not far away from whether it's adjoined to the hospital.
Yep.
Help do some vegetables for
the potatoes and the pumpkins and all that.
For the cooks in the morning. And quick, we're having trouble up here. So what's the matter? I said, what's one silly about it? You're pulling the patients out of the bed, throwing them everywhere, and upsetting the bed and all that sort of thing.
Yep.
We can't handle him. I said, right. What's my hand here? Where is he? Put him in. Oh, strike a bloody Lord.
He was a big fellow, wasn't he?
That fella. 80s. Well, here am I, 6 down just out of the army. Oh, God, how am I going to handle him? And then someone said to me, you've learned all this, you've learned judo while you were in the army, and you know how to do it, and now to do it. So I went up to him and
you took him out a bit, knocked him out a bit.
No, I just for his attention. If he'd have hit me when he tried, he would have broken me, but he would have broken me. Oh, God, he was a big bastard. It was 80 stone.
Yeah.
Anyway, hanging on to him, and he rolls in the material. It's been back in that's right. Fell up in the middle of his
Oh!
There, well. I had his head on my shoulders, and I got him the double arm bar on behind me. And what did you do to me? Did you use a bloody elephant or something to kill me? He said, what? Paul, I said, I've never in my life been killed with hit with this hip so bloody hard. I said, well, I'm a trained judo.
Yeah.
As well, I could have broken your ribs or could have broken anything.
Just behave yourself.
Now I'm walking on here. Where is it? I'm walking over here, I'll come over here and I won't try with him again. Anyway, the nurse looked at me and said, what happened? I just gave him to introduced to one of those judo tricks of mine. Must have done good to my will. So and he pushed me through his stomach. And anyway, I woke up to bed and he was sitting by the bed and said, "You going to go to bed?" And I said, "I don't go back to bed." And he said, "Well, I don't go walk if go for the same thing again." "Oh, you're still here?" "Yeah, well," I said, "you're going to behave yourself." And I let the nurse deal with it. I was just to the side and watched him down there. And, it took them six nurses
To get him under
to
control.
put him to be back on the bed again.
Yeah, yeah,
And I didn't know, you dealt with it on your own.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can deal with any size.
You got him under control. Big tough Pop.
Oh,
I told you, Pop's told me all this stuff about how to protect myself as I was growing up. Do a few judo tricks, Jody. Do a few judo tricks on them. Don't let them beat you.
I learned Judy. You know, this is a place where it would come in very, very handy. Before I had really, I did a couple of days before I decided to join the bloody fleas. Before I joined judo, and I went to the matron. I said, "Suit matron." I said, "I've just been watching the way the patient gets handled by the people that work here, the way they treat the patient and all this. It's not right. Well, what do you know about it? I don't know much about it at present, but I'd like to ask your permission. May I join the
Judo team.
classes?" I said,
Yep.
We're all looking for judo people. No one seems to want to take it on.
Yeah.
It was the best thing on earth. It served the hospital 100% of it had judo man here.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you're a little boy here, and he's yeah, no, like about 6 down, or 5 or 6 tall, you know.
So you were pretty skinny when you came back from the war,
It's just can't every bone.
and you won't eat apricots. I know that. You won't eat canned apricots.
Anyway, well, you handled that other fellow all right, the big bloke.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, how long do you want to be put off? As long as it takes to learn it. I said, right. Anyway, I started to learn about a week, and that's when I had to deal with the big fella.
Yeah.
And the sister got on it. No doubt about it. It didn't take you long to learn things. She said, "No, you'd like to try me?" "No, thanks." Another time.
You're always a very strong man. Like I always remember looking at your hands here, like how big they are. There's not a lot of strength in them now, but they were very, very strong hands all throughout my childhood. I remember how much heavy work you used to do.
Right.
You were a very hard-working man, Pop.
Another time or two, I had finished I used to do night work well, you know. And I thought, I'll walk through the ward down and see our mates going out and looking after ward work, doing night work on the boiler room. And then that's all I turned down. Scream. And that got in trouble.
Yeah.
And, all right, what's going on in here? It was a nurse supposed to be sponging this bastard, you know.
Yeah.
And he flew out, sit on top of it, and he pulled the phone codes out and wrapped around the bloody throat and was choking her.
Oh, no. This was at the Inverell Hospital,
Yeah.
back when you worked there, yeah.
And I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm chopping a bloody Jap, what is it? Not chopping a bloody nice nigger. Get out, let it go." I won't. Anyway, he got in front of it, I went, "Psh." Yeah, and then I thought this sort of, people thought, I put my finger up between Fanny and to find out how the pulses were going on. Look, he's even starting to play with her. So he just filmed how the bloody pulses are. Anyway, God, this will be a tussle. This was. Anyway, that's funny. I'm sort of bloody knots this one tied. Anyway, I got a knife. Nobody would have a knife in there. I felt a pulse. Weaker and weaker. I just have a very. Anyway, I fired up with the rounds, things are done right now. And rolled on her back and felt her up there again. I felt her on the arm. I got a mouth rotting on. Six pushes.
Yeah.
Felt the pulse. It just felt. There we go. Blow, push, blow, push, blow, push, push, blow, push. I went there. Oh, I got pretty better. Yeah, maybe it makes me more stronger.
So she got a pulse back.
I might be winning. So, yeah, next time, same, but we have a more, instead of blow, push. About 10 times or down.
Yeah.
I jumped around her eye. She was, her eyes were shut with it. Moved her eye.
So she started to come around.
Said, hooray! I've won. She's open. How are you? Oh. Where are you? I've just had you very nasty turns. Said, what about? I found I was sitting on top and trying to strangle her.
So you saved the nurse's life.
You saved my life. Did you? And she said, my name is Rancy Blanche, I think it was.
Blanche. Yeah.
And she said, my life is yours. I was afraid. I thought you might have been the first one I was going to lose.
Yeah.
You about one tick away from him, did.
Yeah.
I managed to get you back.
You resuscitated her.
You just feel it, pulse,
Yeah.
That's my brother up there. He's playing with it already.
You used to get accused a bit of that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Because I know, I've had people say things to me like that over my life and said, oh, he was a bit of a lady. And I'm like, my pop wasn't a ladies' man. He was never he was always giving cuddles to women and women loved him and whatever, but he was never a dirty old man.
No, that was just the idea of the
to see that
down here.
The femoral pulse. You were feeling for that femoral pulse. All the rest of the blood was flowing. Yep.
I said, we didn't know that. I said, we thought you were just playing with the fire, playing with the situation she's in. I said, don't be bloody silly.
And no doubt, in the war, quite often you'd have to be finding those other pulses to see that they were still alive.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those other pulses would be taken off. Their arm would be gone, or their leg would be gone, and you wouldn't be able to feel a pedal pulse or any of that. So you'd have to be looking at those major arteries for pulses.
Of course, it's kind of bloody bombardment. They have their arm blown off, or their legs blown off, or whatever. Oh, pretty shocking.
And amazing that came back and haunted you in your wardsman days, of where you were accused of doing things, but yet you didn't. You were just doing what you were known to do. Yeah. When you can't find a pulse, look for a pulse somewhere else.
Yeah, people standing by me, look at him. He's playing with it already. God, what's wrong with this already? I said, you shut up. He's exploring it to see how strong. I said, that pulse down there, that covers all the other pulses. If there's no pulse there, I said, may as well say goodbye. He said, how is it, John? I said, very, very, very weak. I said, if I can't get these ropes over and clear lively. And he said, give us a resuscitation. He said, you must bring this man, bring the stretcher. Yeah, it was very, very, very mild. Yeah.
So you you actually came in and handled a lot of that patient aggression in the role that you did. I find most wardsmen, most blokes in the hospital setting tend to get used a lot as security to help the nurses, to manage people. Yeah. Wow. I'm going to put this up for now.